Chapter 1 First Contact. Colonel Zephyr Blackthorn stood at the bridge of the UNSS Thunderbolt, his steely gaze fixed on the swirling vortex of stars beyond the viewscreen. Humanity had finally achieved faster-than-light travel, and with it, the ability to explore the vast cosmos. Little did they know that their first venture beyond the solar system would thrust them into an intergalactic conflict that would test the very limits of human ingenuity and courage. "Sir, we're picking up an anomalous signal," reported Lieutenant Caspian Frostwind, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "It doesn't match any known patterns in our database." Zephyr's eyes narrowed. "Origin. Coordinates suggest it's coming from the Epsilon Eridani system, sir." "Set a course, Lieutenant. Let's see what's out there." As the Thunderbolt entered the Epsilon Eridani system, the crew was met with a sight that would forever change the course of human history. A massive, crystalline structure hung in space, its facets refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. Before anyone could react, a beam of pure energy lanced out from the structure, engulfing the Thunderbolt in a cocoon of pulsating light. "Shields down!" "Weapons offline," shouted Caspian, his voice barely audible over the blaring alarms. Zephyr gripped the command chair, his mind racing. "All hands, brace for impact." But impact never came. Instead, the light faded, revealing a cavernous hangar bay within the crystalline structure. The Thunderbolt had been pulled inside. "Sir," whispered Caspian, his face pale, "we're not alone." Surrounding the ship were dozens of beings unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. Their bodies seemed to be composed of living crystal, constantly shifting and refracting light. Each movement they made sent ripples of color cascading through their translucent forms. "Attention, human vessel," a voice resonated directly in their minds. "You have entered Prismalon space. Prepare to be assimilated into the Quantum Collective." Chapter 2 The Quantum Collective. Major Flint Ironheart led the first contact team onto the crystalline surface of the alien structure. Each step sent vibrations through his suit, as if the very ground beneath them was alive. "Stay alert," he growled to his squad. "We don't know what these Prismalons are capable of." As they ventured deeper into the structure, they encountered more of the crystalline beings. Some floated effortlessly through the air, while others seemed to phase in and out of the walls themselves. A larger Prismalon, its form a complex lattice of interconnected geometric shapes, approached the team. "Welcome, humans," it communicated telepathically. "I am Nexus Prime, leader of this Prismalon hive. We have long awaited your arrival." Flint's hand instinctively tightened on his weapon. "And why is that?" "Your species possesses a unique quality, adaptability. We seek to add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated into the Quantum Collective." Before Flint could respond, tendrils of crystalline energy shot out from the walls, ensnaring several of his team members. Their screams of agony echoed through the chamber as their bodies began to crystallize. "Fall back," Flint roared, unleashing a barrage of plasma fire at the advancing Prismalons. To his horror, the energy weapons seemed to have little effect, merely being absorbed and redirected by the aliens' crystalline forms. As they retreated to the Thunderbolt, Flint's mind raced. How could they fight an enemy that turned their own weapons against them? Chapter 3 The Battle for Earth. News of the Prismalon threat spread like wildfire through the galaxy. Humanity scrambled to prepare its defenses, but it seemed futile against an enemy that could manipulate energy itself. Admiral Thorne Stormbreaker stood before the United Earth Defense Council, his face grim. "The Prismalons have breached our outer colonies. Mars has fallen. The lunar defense grid is barely holding. Earth is next." General Talon Frostfire slammed his fist on the table. "We can't just roll over and die. There must be a way to fight these crystal bastards." As if in response to his outburst, the sky above New Geneva erupted in a dazzling display of light. The Prismalon fleet had arrived. The battle for Earth had begun. Humanity's most advanced weapons proved ineffective against the Prismalon ships. Lasers were absorbed and redirected. Missiles phased through their crystalline hulls. Even nuclear warheads were contained and neutralized by the aliens' quantum manipulation abilities. As city after city fell to the invaders, hope seemed lost. But in the darkest hour, humanity's greatest strength emerged: its ability to adapt and innovate. Chapter 4 The Quantum Crucible. In a hidden bunker beneath the ruins of MIT, a team of Earth's brightest minds worked tirelessly on Project Prometheus. Led by the brilliant but eccentric Dr. Quark Neutrino, they sought to turn the Prismalons' greatest strength into their ultimate weakness. The Prismalons manipulate quantum states to render our weapons useless, Dr. Neutrino explained, his wild hair standing on end. But what if we could create a weapon that exists in all quantum states simultaneously? Colonel Zephyr Blackthorn, recalled from the front lines to oversee the project, raised an eyebrow. Is that even possible? Dr. Neutrino grinned maniacally. Theoretically? No. Practically? We're about to find out. For weeks, they labored, combining cutting-edge human technology with salvaged Prismalon crystals. The result was the Quantum Crucible, a device capable of generating weapons that existed in a state of quantum superposition. As the last Prismalon assault on the bunker began, Dr. Neutrino activated the crucible. A blinding light filled the room, and when it faded, Zephyr found himself holding a rifle unlike anything he'd ever seen. Its form seemed to shift and blur, as if it couldn't decide what shape to take. Remember, Dr. Neutrino cautioned, the weapon will only maintain coherence for a short time. Make every shot count. Zephyr nodded grimly and led his team to meet the Prismalon onslaught. Chapter 5: Turning the Tide. The effect of the Quantum Crucible weapons was immediate and devastating. Each shot fired existed in multiple quantum states, bypassing the Prismalons' defenses and shattering their crystalline forms. Word of the new weapon spread quickly, and humanity rallied. Factories around the world were converted to mass-produce quantum crucibles. The tide of battle began to turn. But the Prismalons were far from defeated. As humanity pushed them back, the aliens revealed new, terrifying abilities. They began to merge into massive, city-sized entities capable of manipulating gravity and space-time itself. In orbit above Earth, Admiral Stormbreaker watched in horror as a Prismalon megastructure tore a hole in the fabric of reality, threatening to consume the entire planet. "This is it," he muttered. The final battle. Chapter 6: The Singularity Gambit. With Earth on the brink of annihilation, humanity played its final card. Dr. Neutrino had theorized that the Quantum Crucible technology could be scaled up to unimaginable levels. The result was Project Singularity, a massive space station capable of generating a controlled quantum singularity. As the Prismalon megastructure approached Earth, the Singularity Station powered up. The fabric of space-time itself began to warp and twist around it. All ships, converge on the target, Admiral Stormbreaker ordered. We need to push that thing into the Singularity's event horizon. What followed was the most intense space battle in human history. Ships darted and weaved through reality-bending energy fields, their quantum crucible weapons leaving trails of probabilistic destruction in their wake. Colonel Zephyr Blackthorn led the final assault, piloting his craft directly into the heart of the Prismalon megastructure. As his ship's systems began to fail under the intense gravitational forces, he had one last card to play. Initiating quantum entanglement drive, he announced calmly. "See you on the other side." In a blinding flash of light, Zephyr's ship and the Prismalon megastructure vanished, pulled into the quantum singularity. For a moment, the universe itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, slowly, the singularity began to collapse in on itself. The remaining Prismalon forces, cut off from their leadership, fell into disarray. Humanity had won, but at a terrible cost. Epilogue: A New Dawn. Years passed and Earth slowly rebuilt. The knowledge gained from the conflict with the Prismalons propelled humanity to new heights of technological achievement. Quantum technology became the foundation of a new era of exploration and discovery. But the question remained: what had become of Colonel Zephyr Blackthorn and the Prismalon megastructure? Had they been destroyed in the singularity, or merely transported to some distant corner of the universe? As humanity spread to the stars, they remained vigilant, ever watchful for the return of the Prismalons. And in the depths of space, on the edge of known reality, a familiar crystalline structure began to form.